morning, Mummy. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd of February. So I think you are just coming home from New Zealand. So I'm glad for that. I have missed you. And I thought, I'm gonna film myself getting ready and put on my makeup and show you what I do and have a little bit of fun. It'll take a while, so sit back and enjoy. So, because I'm gonna just take my time and do what I'm doing, and I'll talk you through it and everything, just for fun. It's nothing fancy. I'm gonna use a primer. It's a little sachet of a face primer that I've just put in a little tub because I don't like these types of things. I hate squeezing things out of them, so I just put them in a little tub like that and then use it, and you get a fair bit out of it. So I'm using my little spatula that I like to use because I don't like sticking my finger into things. Although I think I saw a video by a dermatologist, and I think she said that there's actually, oh, that was it, no more, 2 uses, not much at all. There's actually no harm in sticking your fingers into products if it's your own product, but I still don't like it. So this is just a foundation primer. It's a hydrating primer, and it was just a little sample that I got, so it's not something that I'm just using it. I have others that I like better, but I have so many samples and I just want to just use them. So yeah, you can see my skin's very glowy and shiny, dewy, whatever you want to call it, because it's very well moisturized. But I'll mattify it a little bit because I don't like a shiny face. For foundation today, I'm going to use my Revlon Color Stay. It's I don't know if it'll actually like translate to where you can read it, because it looks backwards to me right now. In the color nude, is it nude? What is it? What color is it? I don't know. I can't tell. Oh yes, nude, right in front. This is a very classic foundation. You can buy it from like Chemist Warehouse and Priceline and things like that. And it's been around absolutely forever. It used to come in a little bottle where you had to like pour it out, and everybody hated it. So quite a few years ago, they changed it into a pump, which is much better. And people got very excited that it became a pump. So what I do, and I don't use much, is I just pump a little bit onto my spatula like that, and then just spread it out. And again, it's the finger thing. I'm weird about the whole finger thing. Yeah, so, and then I use a baby wipe, and I wipe it clean. Then I can use it again next time. Sponge. So tell me, how was your trip? Did you have a good time? I didn't see many photos. I saw a lot of photos that Daddy posted about the food, but I didn't see many like touristy or sightseeing photos. So I wasn't actually sure like where you guys went. And by the way, I'm using the screen on my phone that I'm filming on as a camera, and it's small. So if I ever like look down like this, it just means I'm looking at the mirror in front of me so I can see what I'm doing. But you'll see that the foundation actually looks quite nice. It's a nice foundation, but not very full coverage, kind of a medium coverage. I want to show you. You see that little double tail there? That is from the old eyebrow that got messed up, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago when I had it done. And so I have to cover it. It is fading slowly, but I have to cover it up with a little bit of concealer. So I will do that. So I take a little bit of concealer. Again, I put it in a pot. It's actually this really old MAC concealer that I have, that I haven't used in a very long time, and I don't know if it's gonna focus. There's this technique that makes it focus. Is that better? Yes. Not that you need to know. But anyway, I've put it in a little pot because I don't like pumping concealer out, because you always end up with too much, and I don't need much. I was like, only a teeny little bit. And I'm gonna put it directly on that little bit of color. And then I'm just gonna let it sit. I know it looks very white, but I'm just gonna let it sit and dry, which it will a bit. And I'll blend it out a little bit around the edges. And I'll cover it over it with some powder to set it. And it should last me like all day. I have found that this is quite a good concealer. And I've experimented with a few of them. But I have to use a little brush like that, because otherwise it's so fine and it's so small. I've just spent 2 minutes talking about concealer in my eyebrow. Okay, so foundation. Next step, bronzer, which contour, which I have been using my Maybelline Instant Rewind eraser concealer. It's a really dark color. It's the darkest color they have as a bronzer, because I heard that it works, and it does work. So I've used a fair bit of it because it used to be full. I don't like this twisty thing because it can get quite messy. And it's a bit dark in here. I know it doesn't look dark for you, but it's a bit dark in here for me because I've had to turn off the main light, which is right here, that you can't see, so that I can film without any glare. And I hope there's some flickering from that light over there, but it is what it is. So then I'm gonna dot a little bit for the forehead, and then another sponge, blend, blend, blend. I could probably do all this really fast. And I do sometimes. If I'm in a hurry, I can like just slap it all on and it's fast. But I'm not in a hurry today, and I'm feeling chatty. And I've finally put away most of the stuff and unpacked from our triple, from the US, from Cambodia, from Brisbane. Oh my God, all this traveling. And then we're going to Melbourne in April, but that's not to the end of April, but that's a work trip with that author, Anna Hackett, that I work for. Okay, so that's done. Now I am finding with this, sometimes, well, more often than not, the top with this concealer, it kind of tends to spread a bit, so I have to be careful. But also, oh look, I have some color. But also it tends to like cover that whole area, and you don't want that big. So I've got another one. It's the same concealer, the Rewind, but this is in the color Light. I also have the color Fair, which I think would work a little bit better, but I'm going to use up the Light one first. And I think I got Light at one point because I couldn't find Fair. And I'm just going to draw a little line there and draw a little line there. And what it will do is it will show off the contour a little bit better. And then I use a sponge again, blend, 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 but I don't use the contour sponge because that's a bit dark, because it's got dark stuff on it. I use the foundation sponge. So you see how that's just kind of chiseled that out a little bit because of the, you know, because it's a light color and it's giving me contrast between the jawbone there and the cheekbone there, which, you know, some people are blessed and born with gorgeous cheekbones. You have gorgeous cheekbones, I think, but I don't have so much cheekbones. Elisa has wonderful cheekbones. Anyway, so what am I going to do next? Yes, and then I powder. I don't know what powder I'm going to use today. I'm just going to use my regular powder. It's a loose powder. It's the Coty's Air Spun Transparent Powder. And I've put it in a smaller container because the original container is gigantic and it takes absolutely forever to use up. And I like loose powder. I like powder and I like pressed powder, but I've recently fallen in love with loose powder. So that, and it kind of blends, because you know the contour looks quite dominant and dark. It kind of just does blend everything in nicely as well. Sorry. And I go under here, blend, blend, blend. It does a nice job of blending enough so that it's seamless, but you still, you know, you still see the contour. And then I take a little bit extra and I stamp it. I don't buff because I don't want to move the concealer, so I just stamp it on the concealer just to set it so that it oh, too much powder, so that it doesn't move. So that's the face powdered. I'm going to do everything today, I think, just for fun. Okay, so I want to show you. I don't know if you can see, but do you see this? You see where it's darker here and there's hair, and then you see where there's no hair and it's all lighter. That's all new tattoo because I have no hairs growing and they had to tattoo it in to even out my eyebrows. Whereas this side, that's all good hair, like growing. That's the good eyebrow. No hair, no tattooing needed, but you know what I mean. So next I will fill in. I'm being a bit lazy, so I'm just gonna use a pencil to fill in my eyebrows. I bought this AC Makeup Tokyo from Cambodia. It's just an eyebrow pencil. It was from like a Daiso equivalent. I think it was called Mia Japan or something like that. And it's basically like a $2 shop. This was $1.90 and it's quite nice. So I have to look down, sorry. So I'm just gonna fill that in so that it looks more put together. Although I do like the fact that these days my eyebrows do not nearly need nearly as much effort. And this one is in the color Ashy Brown, and I quite like it. I kind of wish I went back and bought an extra one because it was $1.90 and it's good. No talking while doing the eyebrows. Why can't I talk and do my eyebrows at the same time? I don't know. It's a bit dark. Did I mention it's dark? It's a bit dark down here because I don't have my usual lights on. just so I can film, but you can see. It's a little bit, yep, that's better. This corner is a bit stubborn, and I never feel like I get it quite right. It'll have to do. Okay, so we're doing full hog, so I'm gonna use some eyeshadow primer and do my eyes. Eyeshadow primer does help. I've compared when I forget or I get lazy and I don't bother putting on eyeshadow primer versus when I do put eyeshadow primer, and it does make a difference. I'm using a brush to apply the eyeshadow primer, and the reason I'm doing that instead of using my fingers is I just think it spreads and applies a little bit better. Now I have to figure out what eyeshadow to use. What eyeshadow shall I use? Let's use my Old Faithful. This is discontinued, unfortunately. Which is a shame because it's the perfect traveling light eyeshadow, because it's got all these eyeshadow colors, which is gorgeous. Highlight, blush, and bronzer, contour. I actually just use those for high eyeshadow as well. But it means that it's got all the colors. There, you can see it better. It's got all the colors that I would like to use in, you know, in an eye look. Obviously, as you can tell, this is my favorite color because it's very used up. So let's find a brush. I don't know what to do. I was going to do a bit deeper look, so let's go with the bronze. I'm going to use this bronze color. My eyeshadow tends to, I'm going to look down because so I can see. My eyeshadow looks tend to be very simple. Just the base color all over the lid. I might do a halo eye today, just for the fun of it. All over the lid. So a nice brown color. I know it looks messy. It'll get tidied up. Another brush into this peachy color, and I blend the edges. To tidy it up. Yep. Hello. I'm at home today, not going anywhere, don't have anybody to see. Well, you're going to see this, but that's that. It looks a bit dark. And I am going to throw on some highlight. And that helps blend it out a bit more too, so. Okay, put that away, and I think I will do, like I said, I'll do a halo eye. Do something sparkly. Let's see how that turns out. Can you see the sparkle? It's not super sparkly, but it is pretty. Add a bit more. And I do use a finger for this part because it's actually easier to control just tapping it. Oh, there you go. You can see it now. I look like I'm giving you the finger. I'm not. It's just a good finger to use for that. There, you see my hello eye? Okay, good, pretty. What's next? Clean the finger eyeliner. Okay, I've been doing something interesting with my eyeliner recently. This is an old Lancome eyeliner. And instead of drawing it on, I am finding it works better for me if I just take a little brush and just like pick up some color and then draw it on. This particular eyeliner is absolutely fantastic because my eyes tend to be very watery and eyeliner tends to smudge on me. And this is one of the most bulletproof eyeliners I have ever tried. But guess what? They've discontinued it. So I can't get it anymore, which is annoying. Why do they discontinue good stuff? Why? So there, eyeliner, and yes, again, just... And also, I find when I do it this way, I don't use as much product, so it lasts longer. Which is a good thing. Because this Lancome, not like Chemist Warehouse, Lancome costs more. Yay, I have eyes. And what I do is I clean the brush immediately. So a little bit brush cleaner. I just spray it over the baby wipe. I always have a baby wipe. So, you know, I can like wipe stuff and clean stuff and wipe my fingers and, you know, catch things. I don't like mess. I'm so OCD about mess. It's just, it's really a bit ridiculous. And then it's clean and I can use it again the next day. And also, if I don't clean it, it gets stiff with the product on it. So I do that with my concealer brush. Not concealer, eye primer brush as well. Ooh. I closed my eyes. I don't know what that looked like. It's probably going to be really cringy if I watch this back myself, so I won't. Okay, see, nice and clean, ready for tomorrow. Now, drink of coffee that Steve made me. Next step is blush. And I think I told you, but I have been using some of my older lipsticks that don't work, like they've dried up, so they don't work on the lips, or they don't look really nice on the lips. I'm going to use this one today, which is a really bright red. It's very pretty, but you also have to be very careful, you know, when you apply them on the lips, depending on them, because they can get a bit full on. So this is, it's very dry. It won't work on the lips. But I use a brush like this, and I put it on a little plate. I was putting it on the back of my hand before. And then when I came home, I went to Daiso and got this little plate for a few dollars. And then what I do is I just tap it in like that a little bit, and it picks up a bit of color. You kind of have to look closely. Like if I look at it under, you can probably see a little bit of it. Can you see the red? That's picked it up. And then I dab it onto my cheeks very, very, very carefully. But the nice thing is because these are, you know, matte, long-wearing lipsticks to begin with, my blush ends up lasting a very long time and lasting all day long, which is just amazing. And I like that. I really like that. It lasts even longer than the powder blushes. And also, cream and liquid blushes are actually very on trend right now. And, you know, they come out with lots of different colors and lots of brands are coming out with it. And they're, depending on what brand you buy, they can be quite expensive. And so I'm just kind of like DIY my own kind of without having to buy a liquid blush, which I haven't. I did give away a couple a few years ago, or maybe a year or two ago, which I am kind of regretting now and kind of wishing I didn't give away, because I'm kind of wanting it back. But see how that's like really pretty, and I still a fair bit left, so I just cleaned that off again with the brush cleaner and the baby wipe. Is that enough? Is that blushy enough? Do I look blushy enough? I like having blushy cheeks, so there we go. Okay, so then, so stuff left, I spray and wipe. And let's see, clean, ready for tomorrow. Okay, highlight. I don't know what highlight I want to use. So I am just going to use one that is easily within reach. This is a liquid highlight from Mecca in Opal. I think I got this as a gift, I think, from Mecca. I don't remember. So I'm just putting a little bit on my hand, and then I'm putting it on my sponge, and then just stamping it on, and then just looking very sheeny and glowy. You see that? That's pretty. I'm just trying to see, to get in the light so you can see the glow. And it does, the nice thing also is if I overdo it on the blush, it will tone it down a little bit. So it's quite good that way too. Just need to wipe off the rest from my hand. Okay, and that's pretty much done. Lipstick today, I'm just gonna wear this red lipstick because I think it'll match. Sorry, cannot talk and apply lipstick at the same time. Okay, I am finished. I am done. I am gonna do one small thing. I'm gonna take my contour powder. This is an old NYX contour powder. It's been discontinued, but it's got that good sort of deep shadow color. I'm just taking a brush and just sweeping under here a little bit. Yes, very good. Okay, I'm done. What do you think? I will take a picture and send it to you for my face of the day too. But this is not bad. 31 minutes, almost 30 minutes and 45 seconds ish. Bye bye, mommy.